Welcome back to Torch Sports, where the focus turns to the diamond as Rick Barnes and the men's basketball squad fall in the Elite Eight for the third straight season. A group that lost the last 4 of their regular season games silenced doubters and established themselves as one of the best teams in the nation yet again. I'm Allie Campbell here with Dominic Speza and Jay King. But before we dive into all things baseball, our very own Nick Rose is here to bring you all up to speed on hoops updates since the tournament lost. Nick, what news do you have for us?
Thanks, Allie. It's officially the end of basketball season here on Rocky Top, but that hasn't stopped the Vols and Lady Vols from making some changes to their coaching staffs so far this offseason. The men's staff got great news when head coach Rick Barnes announced that he plans to return for the 2026-27 season, his 12th here at UT, which would make him the second longest tenured coach in program history. Barnes is already the winningest head coach in program history and has led the Vols to 3 straight Elite Eights. However, associate head coach Justin Gainey will not return, as he is set to become the head coach at his alma mater, NC State, where he played from 1996 to 2000. He is taking Riley Collins with him, the assistant director of player development. Gainey was beloved by fans here in Knoxville and even had the opportunity to coach his son, Jordan Gainey, for 2 years on Rocky Top. The Lady Vols also had some mix-up with their coaching staff after failing to meet program expectations this season. Assistant coach Gabe Lazo announced his resignation on March 27th and joined Kim Mulkey's staff at LSU on March 31st. He was replaced by FSU's associate head coach Bill Ferrara, who spent the last 4 years with the Seminoles. Ferrara has also made stops at Florida and St. John's. With little changes to the coaching staff, it is safe to say that Kim Caldwell will be the head coach for the Lady Vols next year, even after a rough ending to the season, which saw the Lady Vols lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament for only the 3rd time in program history and go winless in the postseason for the 1st time in program history. These teams could have many changes coming soon, with the transfer portal opening up next week. We will keep you updated on all things Tennessee basketball, but that's all I have for you right now. Back to you guys at the desk, Allie.
Now turning to Josh Elander and the Base Vols. 2 months into the season, the 19-10 Vols are 3-6 in conference play 3 weeks in to the SEC. Okay, so this point into the season, about halfway, what are the biggest takeaways, beginning with you, Jay?
Yeah, well, my biggest takeaway is that Cam Appenzeller, the highly touted freshman, has been the best pitcher on the team. Can y'all take a guess what his ERA is in conference play?
Yeah.
0.
Oh.
He has not given up a single earned run at all in conference play. I would really like to see him potentially get the starting job on Fridays to take Tegan Coons' spot, potentially.
Awesome.
Yeah, Appenzeller, he's been a really good arm off the bench. And, I mean, I think he would be great as a starter, but when you have that veteran presence with the starters in Tegan Coons, Landon Mack, Evan Blanco, they've been doing good all season, so just let them stay comfortable. Appenzeller's been lights out in his relief role, and he needs to keep it there. Moving it over to offense, though, I like Manny Marin. He's been super consistent this year. In my opinion, he's been the most consistent guy day in, day out, ever since that Wright State series. He's been batting .330 with an OPS of .872, and he's just been consistent. Mr. Consistency is Manny Marin.
The offense has had a little bit of a slow start, definitely all around. Manny Marin being a bright spot for that, but also Garrett Wright. He began the season coming off of an injury, and then he was able to repair pretty quickly and has been one of the most powerful bats for this Vols team. He also filled in as catcher on Tuesday after Stonelaw suffered an injury over the weekend. He has a perfect fielding percentage and also 11 hit by pitches. He said that he practices getting hit by balls with the ball machine so that he does not flinch. An absolute unit. What a crazy thing to do, but it has really been working for him. And this baseball team has had quite the start in their first season under new coach Josh Elander. Here to give us more of an update is Jack Glennon. Jack, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thanks, Allie. Now, it's no secret by now for fans of Tennessee baseball that things look a little bit different on Rocky Top this year after the departure of great head coach Tony Vitello, who becomes the first NCAA sitting manager to become a MLB manager, taking over the San Francisco Giants. Now, Josh Elander took over as the 26th head coach in Tennessee baseball history. And the Tennessee Volunteers have come out of the gate with a little bit of a struggle this season. They lost their first non-conference series in 6 years to the Kent State Golden Flashes back in February, and have struggled a little bit in conference play to come out of the gate. Now, part of those struggles in conference play have come on the mound. A 5.06 team ERA for the Tennessee Volunteers in conference play, including a 6.0 ERA for ace Tegan Coons. Now, for the Volunteers, the plate has also been a bit of a struggle, hitting .247 to opponents' .267, striking out 99 times and walking just 39 times. But for the Volunteers, legendary head coaches weren't built in a day. Tony Vitello, 29-27 in his first season before leading the team to 3 College World Series appearances in 7 years and a College World Series championship in 2024. The legendary Rick Barnes, who is now the 3rd winningest active men's college basketball head coach, 15-19 in his first season as the Tennessee Volunteers men's basketball coach. And of course, the legendary Pat Summitt, who paved the way for women's basketball as a whole, 16-8. Impressive in her first season, but not up to the standard that she would eventually build. So while Josh Elander and his Volunteers might be struggling a little bit out of the gates, it's important that we give them time to build something special. Thanks, Allie. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jack. It's no secret that it sometimes takes a few seasons, maybe hopefully just one, to get acclimated. But this weekend will be a big test as the Vols host one of the biggest names in college baseball, the LSU Tigers. So let's do a vibe check. How are we feeling? What are the expectations going into this big match this weekend?
If you can believe me, both teams are unranked. The last 3 national championships have been won by these 2 squads. And for the past, 6 years, this duo of teams has been unstoppable in the landscape of college baseball. And then fast forwarding to last year, I want to talk about my guy, Reese Chapman. Last year, he was 6 for 12 against LSU, and I'm expecting him to have another big series this weekend. He's batting .311 on the year with a .951 OPS, but it's not just his hitting, it's his plate presence. He's calm, he's composed, and he does what the team needs him to do to win. They don't call him the Chapton for nothing.
That's awesome. Jay?
Yeah, well, this team needs to improve like how I need to do in MLB The Show, and that's take more walks and work counts. Tennessee on the Friday and Saturday losses to Vanderbilt. Tennessee walked 3 times and struck out 11 times. On Saturday, Tennessee walked 6 times, struck out 18 times in that 16-inning game. LSU has a bottom 4 pitching staff in the SEC. Tennessee needs to take advantage of that and work a count to potentially get on base easier.
Yeah, these LSU Tigers are sitting at 4-5 in the conference, so pretty close to where Tennessee is. But another big change that we saw on Tuesday is that Josh Elander moved from the third base spot to the dugout. He was the third base coach for Tony Vitello for all 8 seasons that he's been here, so this is a big change for him and this team. But he said that they're just looking to have better communication around the staff and looking to have all of the different changes that they could possibly try. So we'll see how that goes this weekend. That's all for Vol Baseball. Stick around after the break for more roundtable discussion on Lady Vol softball. Until then, check out this quick recap on both baseball and softball seasons.
All right, guys, we're good. Let's switch.
Good luck.
Good job. You guys are good.
Welcome back to Torch Sports, and it is at last time for some Lady Vol softball talk. I'm Connor Whitney alongside Chance Jones and Grayson McGinnis. Gentlemen, it's good to be with you. How are we doing?
Doing good. It's
Doing
exciting.
great. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive right into it. Tennessee's mantra this season has been simple: dominate. And for much of the season, they have done just that. The Lady Vols stormed out of the gates with a program-best 26-game win streak, and they faced quite an early season gauntlet. They knocked off top teams like Oregon, Nebraska, UCLA, and Florida State during their tournaments in Clearwater, and they were completely dominant in the process, outscoring those opponents 26-2. While they were firing on all cylinders early, the pitching staff was in complete command. Grayson?
That's right. Sage Marjetko has been maybe the best pitcher for this Lady Vol staff. That might be crazy to say, but let me give you some stats. You've got a big improvement from last year for the junior. She moved up from a 2.5 ERA all the way to a 0.89 ERA. That is insane. That's something that you don't see anymore ever, really, for softball. You've got an improvement from 55 hits to 29 hits. By the way, she's only played about half of the game so far, so that could continue to shine, maybe even stay at that number. Down from 34 earned runs to 8 earned runs. Just phenomenal. Only 8 earned runs up on the season through about half of the games that she played last year. She could be the best pitcher for this Lady Vol staff.
I don't think that's a crazy take, but the pitching staff as a whole has been incredibly solid. They've led the conference in nearly every major statistical category. They're top 3 in hits, runs, earned runs, strikeouts, doubles, triples, home runs, and opponent batting average. That's kind of insane. That's ridiculous.
Best earned run average in the nation.
The lowest stat they're in is walks. They've allowed the least amount of walks, but clearly they are missing Carlin Pickens. She has not been the same since her injury in the Belmont game. Pre-injury, 9 games, 17 hits, 5 runs around, just over 7 strikeouts a game. But since then, in the 6 games, she's allowed 11 hits and 12 runs, which is not nearly as efficient as she was. And she's just under 5 strikeouts a game. She was averaging 7 pre-injury. Her highest this year was 15 against Appalachian State in the Tennessee Invitational. You have to hope that this can turn around for Pickens. She's clearly not 100%. She's not the dominant force that she once was. And this is big going into conference play. They're going to need her to get back fully healthy. And if, that could be maybe give her some games off to fully heal, but you also need one of your best pitchers in the group to be on the mound for big games like this.
So to your point, 38 walks on the season from Carlin. But again, like we're talking about Carlin having the worst ERA on the staff at 1.46. That's still 14th best in the nation. She's been really good, but it also speaks to the quality and the depth that Karen Weekly has in her pitching staff at her disposal really at any given time, right?
That is true.
Right, and you have like Aaron Newer has been absolutely spectacular this season. 0.76 earned run average in 64 1/3 innings pitched. Her opponent's batting average this year against Newer is just 100. That's the best on the staff by far. She's been simply terrific. I mean, we talk about Carlin, we talk about Sage, but I think Aaron kind of gets lost in the discussion a little bit because she's been so good. She can be disposed in any role. She can start, she can take the middle of the game, she can save. She does every role, and she's been really, really effective. Now, while things have started off hot for the Lady Vols, the team has cooled off of late in SEC play. Here to give you more insight is our very own Cheyenne Sargent. Cheyenne, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Connor. I'm here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium, where the Tennessee Volunteers honored former head coach Ralph Weekly for his induction to the Tennessee Athletics Hall of Fame this weekend. Now, Ralph Weekly is the husband of current Lady Vols head coach Karen Weekly, and they coached alongside each other for 20 years. Now, turning attention to the current team, the Lady Vols are looking to improve their SEC play following back-to-back series losses to Florida and Ole Miss. The Lady Vols offense has been struggling as of recent, only combining 12 runs across both series and going 2 for 4 on their conference stretch. During their most recent series to Ole Miss, the Lady Vols were able to avoid a sweep on Sunday following a win 4-3. The Lady Vols were tied 3-3 in the 7th and were able to rally, ending the game on a walk-off walk from Savia Morgan. Now, guys, this is the first time the Lady Vols will compete being ranked outside of the top 10 this weekend, and they are looking to bounce back against their current series against South Carolina. That's all I have on the Lady Vols softball team for now. Sending it back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Cheyenne. Well, the Lady Vols are back in action this weekend for a series at home versus the South Carolina Gamecocks, who are currently ranked 25th overall in the nation. Tennessee has a big overall in the pitching staff, but offensively the teams have been evenly matched, although Tennessee, of course, their offense has been very quiet over the last few series. Now, you have a 2-4 record over the last couple series in SEC play. Again, averaging 2 runs a game, and Chance, a lot of the offensive momentum and what they need to recapture, it has to start from the top of the lineup.
It does, and I'm looking at Gabby Leach to return to form. She was lights out to start the season. She had 16 hits in the first month of the season. Since then, she's only had 15, which that doesn't sound. It sounds like she's matching it, but she's only has 2 hits in her last 10 games. She was batting .410 before the Tennessee Invitational. She's at .316 now. She's gone cold over the last 2 series. You can't have one of your best hitters on the team going cold. I'm looking for the bats to get hot. They need to get hot soon because that's how you're going to win games. You can't. It's just. Quite frankly, it's not really acceptable to be only scoring 1 run in 2 out of 3 games against an unranked Ole Miss team. They have to get hot, and they have to stay hot, and I'm looking at Gabby Leach to do it. They've got a lot of high-profile series coming up. It's Kentucky next weekend, Alabama the weekend after that, and Missouri. Those are some big rivals for Tennessee softball. Like, those are high-profile games. The bats have to get hot to make statement wins. While most of those teams are still unranked, they're big rivalries. Those mean a lot to Tennessee fans, especially Kentucky and Alabama. Those are big-time series. You have to win those. The bats have to get hot, and they have to get hot now.
Bama being the big series, of course, they are a very top-ranked team.
And anything can happen in those games. You never really know what you're going to get with those series rivalries. But I'm going to look at Ella Dodge. She's been pretty good. She's been phenomenal in the wins. But when Tennessee loses, it's where she disappears. In the season, she's had 29 runs, 29 hits, 37 RBIs. That is spectacular. That is exceptional. However, in losses, she's had 0 runs, just 2 hits, 0 RBIs. She just disappears when the Vols need her, and she just has to step up and has to be consistent because when she really is on one, it seems like Lady Vols cannot lose. But when she starts to struggle, when she starts to fall back, it seems like the team can feel that, and they understand, hey, we're not feeling it today. We might lose this game.
And she's been one of the leaders in the team. She was part of this team last year that went to Oklahoma City, made that deep run in Oklahoma City. She's been really good. Again, she leads the team in RBIs with 37, leads the team with extra base hits. But it's not just the top of the lineup as well. Maybe you might be looking for some more contributions at the bottom of the lineup. Is that right, Grayson?
Yeah, Maddie Rutan, she also has been all right. She needs to improve. That's the bottom line. She tries her best. She's had 1 run, 3 hits, 2 RBIs since the first loss. That's not good. That's not exceptional. That's not anywhere near what the Lady Vols expect of her. She's had 13 runs, 14 hits, 12 RBIs before their first loss. So she was rolling a little bit before that first loss. She just seems to be deflated once they got that first loss, and they really need to get their confidence back together and to feel like they can get back any win that they need. They don't need to turn out like the Lady Vols basketball did, losing those last few games, getting on a roll and losing more and more in games. They need to ground their feet, stop this slide, and continue to fight and win these series.
Well, I think you really just need to help the pitching staff out. Like, it comes from the plate. We talked about how dominant the pitching staff is. You just got to help them out a little bit. You can't be – these games they've lost, they've been close games. They've been 2-1 losses twice to Ole Miss. They were close games against Florida. You cannot let this pitching staff go to waste because they're so dominant. They're so good. They're the best at basically everything they do. You have to help them out behind the plate. You have to get the balls out of the park, right? You got to help them out a little bit, and that's just not happening right now. So the bats, I said it, they need to get hot. They need to get hot.
And absolutely they do, and I think they can stick to their coaching points from Coach Weekly, stick to your process, be where your feet are, block out the noise. And they've done a really good job of that all season long. Can they get that done against South Carolina? Well, we shall see. They continue their series tonight at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium with first pitch set for 6 p.m. But that'll do it for our softball. And on the other side of the break, we will bring you up to speed on Tennessee swim and dive as they go through NCAA championships. But before that, Tennessee Pro Day was earlier this week. Here's what you need to know.
The Vols just had their 2026 Pro Day with some familiar faces and some we haven't seen in a while, including defensive back Jermon McCoy. Now, McCoy posted stellar numbers on the agility test with a 4.38 40-yard dash, a 10-foot 7-inch broad jump, and a 38-inch vertical jump. He missed the entire 2024 season with an ACL tear, but is still projected to go in the first round. Quarterback Joey Aguilar also put on a show, throwing for the first time since his January surgery, where he had a tumor removed from his throwing arm. Afterwards, Aguilar talked about the difficulty of recovering from the surgery.
My rehab has been a lot of top of the routes, not knowing if I can throw like full live routes. We'll throw in a couple in here and there, but like deep balls and deeper routes, definitely first time throwing routes like full routes. So it was awesome, fun time.
Wide receiver Chris Brazel also looked sharp during the routes on air portion and discussed his NFL draft process afterwards.
Nah, it's still up in the air, to be honest. But what I tell him is, if y'all really watch the film, like this year, 2025, 2026 year, like it was completely different from the past Tennessee offense. Like we're running real routes. We got a whole lot of stuff on film. I'm running pro routes. Like at my 30 visits, I'm telling the scouts, like, if y'all watch my film, I'm running real routes, and they agree. So
now, you might not be able to see these Vols, but you will see next year's team next Saturday, April 11th, during the orange and white game. From Knoxville, Patrick Falcon, Torch Sports.
Welcome back to the show, Rocky Top. We are almost out of time here for this week's episode, but before we leave, there's one more sport here in Knoxville that has been making quite a splash as of late. Our own Max Enos has a update on the women's and men's swim and dive teams that just competed in the 2026 NCAA Championships in Atlanta, Georgia. Max, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Allie. This is the second straight year that both teams had finished top 3 in the SEC championships, and then a month later finished top 5 in the NCAA championships. Now, each team respectively claimed 5 program records, including one of those for the women going for an SEC record. The women's 400-yard medley relay took home the silver medal and swam a final time of 3 minutes and 23.79 seconds. Now, sophomore breaststroker Mackenzie Sororki claims the silver medal in the 100-yard breaststroke for the Lady Vols, and junior sprinter Camille Spink claims the 50-yard freestyle bronze medal after having won the event last month at SEC Championships. Now, the only diving medal for the Lady Vols came from a silver medal from Desharnay Bent-Ashmeal, the freshman from London, England, after she claimed the silver in the 3-meter springboard event. Now on to the men. Guy Caribé had a meet of a lifetime. He claimed the bronze medal in the 100-yard freestyle and the silver medal in the 50-yard freestyle. This is the second straight year that he's podiumed in both of those events at this meet. Now, the freshman from Sydney, Australia, Kobe Bujak-Upton, claimed the silver medal in the 200-yard freestyle. Now, the only diving medal for the volunteers came from sophomore diver Bennett Green. He claimed the bronze medal in the 3-meter springboard diving event. That is all that I have for you guys for the NCAA swimming and diving recap. Back to you at the desk, Allie.
Thank you so much, Max. Well, it's a super exciting time on Rocky Top right now with the men's basketball season wrapping up in an exciting fashion in the Elite Eight and recruiting beginning for this upcoming basketball season. Softball and baseball in full swing, competing in the middle of SEC play. And I will be covering the LSU weekend series coming up starting this afternoon at 5:30. First pitch, coming from Art Vincent, and then at 6 p.m. on Saturday by our very own Landon Mack. On Sunday at 1 p.m. from UVA transfer Evan Blanco. It's been exciting so far, 3-6 into SEC play, and this is a matchup that the Vols actually narrowly lost last season when they played right here in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Once again, they'll be back here on Friday, had an exciting 13-4 win over Austin Peay on Tuesday. So this will be a huge test for Josh Elander's first big SEC competition against an unranked team. We'll be checking in and excited to see what this looks like. Josh Elander moving to the dugout from third base. Garrett Wright behind the plate, and a switch as the Friday night pitcher is now Art Vincent, like I just mentioned. Previously, Tegan Coons. Him and Coons battled it out, had 5 and 4 innings to complete last Friday. So a lot to look forward to, a lot of newness as we head to Lindsey Nelson. And that is all we have for you today, folks. Be on the lookout for that coverage that we'll be posting all over Tennessee and Torch Sports Athletics Instagram and X accounts. But in the meantime, make sure to follow us on Instagram. That is Torch Sports UTK, and on X, Torch Sports_UTK. Thank you so much for watching this week, and we'll see you guys right back here next week. I'm Allie Campbell, and as always, go Vols.